welcome back to my YouTube channel, Flora Talk Shows, where we talk about life journeys, that is general life, maybe politics, medication talks, yeah, all those, how you've succeeded to the position you are in, ulifika aje, yeah. And today I have guests, two of them, they are young youths, yeah, and we'll be talking about politics. Sana sana parties mbili ziko kwa hii Kenya zinang'ang'ania uongozi on 2022 elections, which will be UDA and Azimio. The guests, let me introduce them. On the right hand, I have Azimio guest. On the left side, I have UDA guest. So let them introduce so that we can start and so on. Welcome. Niambie majina yako. Mbona ukaamua kuchagua Azimio? Yeah, and so on. Ndio huyo mwingine proceed.
Yes, so as you have heard, I'm Bobi. That's my stage name. But my real name is Desmond Mjanja. And I'm a diehard and a strong supporter of Azimio and Umoja. And today we are here to perhaps give the general public a limelight of what to expect within the confinements of the parties that we subscribe to, or the coalitions that we subscribe to.
Yeah.
So that's why we are here today. And as we continue, we need to know which way forward for our supporters.
Well, thank you. Next.
So thank you so much, Flo,
Yes.
for inviting us to this special talk.
Yeah.
I go by the name Samuel Guru, Maina.
Yeah.
My political name is Mjanja. Yeah, a former student leader
Yeah.
at Chico University
Wow.
and a youth leader in Nyandarua County.
Yeah.
I'm a strong supporter of UDA, led by our flag bearer, Dr. William Samuel Ruto, and we believe we'll deliver this presidential seat.
Yeah.
And for this talk today,
Yeah.
we're here to just have a limelight, or maybe just a small and general observation concerning the two parties, the Azimio and UDA. Then we weigh scales, and we know which is the best party to go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
True. Okay, my fans, the two of them are supporting different parties. And these two different parties, UDA and Azimio, let's see how are their agendas, how will they accomplish those agendas in order to accomplish the promises that they are going to make to the mwananchi. Now, as we start, Azimio, it's held by a person who amekuwa kwa politics sana, si ndio? And you see that akajaribu mara ya kwanza akafail. Till to 2022 bado anajaribu. Na anajaribu na mtu ameemerge from 2017. That is William Ruto. Anatry mara yake ya kwanza. And this Raila amekuwa kwa politics. How do you see? Is it that agendas zake ziko hivi ama ni how anaifanyaga?
Yeah, so as an Azimio diehard, and I want to just make a correction, that Azimio is more of a coalition.
Yeah.
Just like we don't have UDA, we have Kenyan Kwanza. I think that is what we have.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so as Azimio, we had a presidential candidate over time, just as you mentioned, you are right. And Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga has been in the presidential race for so many years. And there is no doubt that he is still running again in 2022. And the writing is on the wall. Now, I think there is no much to discuss whether he has lost before, because it's in any competition there must be a winner.
Yeah.
And the other person is not a loser, it's just a runners-up.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so you find that as Azimio, we believe that 2022 is our year. That is what we know, that 2022 is our year. And you've talked about, if I got you right, somebody who has run for so many years and successfully versus somebody who is just an upcoming very fast. You cannot dispute that. You know, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks, it's said, but you see, dogs are not human beings.
Okay, how about the agendas zenye ziko kwa Azimio zenye zinaweza kuwa tofauti na UDA, zenye tunaweza sema yes, Azimio iko na these agendas and UDA have these agendas zenye zitaleta pamoja ni kama
in Azimio,
yeah.
we believe in social security support, whereby we are talking about no Kenyan should not go without basic we call it the basic services, including extra to the health sector. We have talked about the NHIF fund and those who are not able to pay for the hospital bills and whatever, they are able, to get support from the government. So I think within UDA, I don't know if they have such a thing. My friend here will tell us exactly if they have the same thing. Because I believe the agendas are more or less the same, but there must be a difference.
True.
We have also talked about Baba Care, you see, which they don't have. Actually, I've never heard of.
Which is this Baba Care?
Baba Care is a situation where we can have a framework whereby we only target the vulnerable in society, because vulnerability is there, whether social, physical, economic, or whichever the way. There are some people in our society where they come from who are really suffering. You see that? They are suffering to get education, medication, and any form of support that they need to propel their life agenda. Yeah, so that is also agenda that we have. We are talking about economic recovery, which cuts across. You see, everybody is contesting wants to improve the economy, but what framework do you have to improve the economy? So those are some of our top agendas. As opposed to how my friend, I know you will talk about how we want to share positions. I know that is not our agenda.
Yeah, the agendas here. Okay, on the side of UDA, is there any care about that mtapeana huko kwa mwananchi?
So thank you, Madam Flora. Allow me to say to you, maybe to put a close, that we have our couple manifesto, which we believe it is achievable in our first 5 years, and possibly the next 5 years, and a total of 10 years. The agenda of Kenya Kwanza, below the UDA, is that you have a bottom-up model, the economic approach, the bottom-up model. And I believe a lack of knowledge is very bad, and that is why some people are saying bottom-up is not workable in Kenya. And allow me to tell you, since the 1980s, when you have been ruled by our founding father, Jomo Kenyatta, we have been having a trickle-down approach of economy, whereby you are concentrating a lot of money to the high-intensive areas and putting less effort to the low-intensive areas. And in the bottom-up approach, what will happen? We will have money being supplied to the low-intensive areas, in which the low-intensive areas, money will go up to the high-intensive areas. In the trickle-down approach, was quite capital model. It was capital-intensive, and in that way, money used to be separated to companies. Like, for example, I give you a good example. A time last year, Our Excellency the President launched a project in Dika for the bullet firearms. The project was costing around 5 billion. That is the kind of capital intensive it is. I can make you calculate just some small calculations. If that money, 5 billion, can be channeled to the low intensive areas. The 5 billion project by His Excellency will only create 100 job opportunities only. But in our bottom-up model, we will supply money to the low-intensive areas, and we'll be able to help more than 10,000 young men and who are aspiring to be in business. That is our bottom-up model approach, and we believe that it will work in Kenya. Another thing, we are trying to create employment opportunities to the youth. One thing that is ailing our country is corruption. And many companies in Kenya have collapsed due to the corruption cases. I'll give an instance. We have so many companies in our the other side of our brother here in the western, which have collapsed. And in that note, not that these companies don't have money, no. It's because of poor management, which comes from corruption. So once we revive these companies, by ensuring that the corruption in these companies is zero, then we empower the
Point of
monarchy.
intervention. Point of intervention.
Yes.
You know, it's only talking about companies that have collapsed in Western Kenya. That largely they have always associated with people in ODM. But it's not telling us those who have collapsed within their jurisdiction as the people, as the government. That is number one. Number two, and he's talking about corruption. And I'm not mentioning anybody. The history of corruption in this republic is known and it's paramount. You see that? You are talking about creating an employment or a government that puts a factory, a buy and producing factory, a manufacturing factory that employs 100 people. Whose government is that?
Okay.
Let me answer to my friend, my brother.
Yeah.
The 5 billion company. It is in the broad daylight that these are the fruits of hardship. The hardship is due the president and Raila. So what we believe, these are the effects of a trickle-down approach. And once you get into the government, you want to change this approach, the economic model approach, to the bottom-up model.
You know,
Yes.
you know, Flo,
Yeah.
I think the bottom-up model was misunderstood. That is the reality, because I just want you to tell me if you ever heard of a bottom-up model approach in Africa being implemented, just for instance, in any place in Africa being implemented. You know, bottom-up model is a model which is within a system and that carries other models. You get that? So it's such a huge thing.
Yeah.
So it's not something that should be open. This is why I say this is a bottom-up upwards. You find that the economy was not devolved when other sectors were being devolved. And even the day when we are collecting taxes right from the people. You get that? To the national government. When that money gets to the national government, then it's spread within the ministry, then it's come back to the people. So we cannot have an economic model whereby we want to do everything. The people collect tax, for instance, then they distribute the tax to the government at will, or according to the percentage that they want. That one cannot work because it automatically the government depends on revenue that you collect every day.
But okay, let me ask a question. If bottom up, I guess ni kufika kutoka pale chini ukipanda, si ndio?
Yeah.
That is bottom up. Ni wale watu wako chini.
Allow me to explain this. I believe the explanation that our brother is giving here for bottom up is not the actual bottom up that you are saying. He's in about services, but in real sense, bottom up is empowering the low-intensive areas through capital. He has put across a very good point that the economy involves collecting tax from the citizen to the government. Currently, the economy is at a very bad state, and I don't know who you can credit that to. And you cannot collect tax to a person who is sleeping hungry.
True.
Unless you exploit him or her.
Yeah.
So by the bottom up, we will empower the mwananchi. For example, mama soko, mama boga hii, mtu wa boda boda. The moment you boost kwa biashara yake, that person will be able to increase sales. For example, if you give a mama boga 4K today, believe me or not, the next 1 week, she'll be having 15,000 as the total sales. So you see, there is a profit and the capital imerudi. Huyo mtu atakuwa na struggle mingi kulipa tax. Also, we improve the standards of living. Currently, the standards of living are very low.
True.
And you cannot continue this trickle-down approach. It is not working. How can you continue with it? For the last almost 50 years, it has not worked. And my brother here said that the bottom up is not worked in other countries. And in Kikuyu we say, jambo ni lenye halijajaribiwa. Odo ni ore pale mugeni. This thing has not been tried, but it has been known to work. A good example, in US, the bottom up is working. Very good. Yeah, so we believe as a hustler nation that the hustlers themselves can cater for their needs, not giving them handouts, because I believe the 6,000 is harmless. And I want my brother here to explain where the 6,000 will come from. Let us empower their businesses. For example, I'm a hustler. I believe also, Flo, you're also a hustler. And Dr. Samoei Ruto is a big motivation to me and you. I personally have bigger visions to aspire to the future. This politics 2022, it is a class against class politics. In the past, it has been a tribe against tribe. For example, you have been having big families living in Kenya. The Moi family, the Kenyatta family, and the Odigas family. Let us now try to attend na hiyo. You can say it is an ethnic. It is an ethnic part of.
Isikue ina rotate.
Yes, in the same families. Let us have the class. By class, I mean, you have the hustlers and the dynasties, as they are calling themselves. It is a fight between the class. And the class hustler nation constitutes 90% of the population. So with no doubt, William Samoei Ruto.
You know, the most dangerous thing we can talk about is the war between classes. That is the war that we are not going to win. And my friend knows very well. You know, the bottom up, the team from the bottom up people, they're actually inciting the poor against the rich. You get that? Now there is something called social stratification in the community. The inequalities in the distributions of power, prestige, and property. You get that? He has talked about being a dynasty. And he's talking about 90% of the population being hustlers. You get that? Today, if you collect 100 people and ask them, are you a hustler or not? How many people will agree that they are hustlers? And with the definition of being a hustler.
Okay.
Now he has talked about where the 6,000 will come from. Can you explain to us where the 50 billion wametenga kila siku 50 billion, the 100 billion tumetengea mwananchi mamboga wa kawaida inatoka wapi? Because the deputy president has been the deputy president of Kenya for 10 years now.
I think you should not pose a question with a question.
Okay, that's the
answer and I'll answer.
Yes. You know, he's been a deputy for 10 years. 10 years. In 2013, was she talking about Mamboga? When he was clinching into the deputy president. He was not even, he didn't know actually that there is Mama Mboga. In 2017, when they were campaigning, they talk about the Mtu Mkokoteni. Nobody touched about the issue of Mkokoteni. Then before the term ends, abruptly, because he realized maybe he's losing ground or something, he came up with an initiative to make people...
Let me answer that. I believe, si lazima, Dr. Samoei Ruto aseme ya mahasura. It is in the world. It is written. Mahasura William Samoei Ruto. He came from the grassroots.
Now define for us.
He was a chicken seller. Let me tell you.
Does that one make you hustler?
Yes.
Selling chicken?
It is. I'm telling you 90%. Allow me to say this. In Kenya, only 100 people whose wealth are above 5 billion. The rest is 2.2 million and below. That is now the fight between the classes. Believe me or not, that is the fight between the classes.
Okay, to interrupt you a bit, okay, I think wakati umesema about classes here we have Flora Odiga, Moi family and Kenyatta family.
Yeah.
Those are the main and major families in Kenya.
Why are you excluding Ruto?
No, Ruto, we don't know the father to Ruto.
Okay.
We know the father to Raila is Odinga.
Okay,
we know the father to Uhuru is Kenyatta, and we know the father to Gideon Moi is Moi.
On the other hand, Ruto have never been in a politics unless from those 5 years and this term, sindio?
No.
So tumekuja kumjua
No.
akiwa
Ruto has been in government since 1990s actually.
Okay, that is
so
family yake haikutoka kwa crowd ikiwa politicians.
No,
But the other
Ruto has been in
family,
government. Actually, Ruto must have been, if you are talking about being a dynasty, then Ruto is a dynasty. You get that? Because Ruto served under Kari as a very powerful Secretary General. You see that? Ruto served in ODM. And we saw his strength in ODM. He was very powerful.
Dynasty is a plural noun, eh? You mean a family.
I understand what he's talking about. Because you cannot tell me that, I cannot say that because when tomorrow Mjanja owns a building like this, I start saying it's a dynasty.
Yeah, I'm not.
You see that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's out of his handbag. You see that? When I'm embezzling somewhere, he's doing something constructive. Now, when Moi was doing something constructive, You get that? I don't want to ask where Ruto, the parents were, or where my parents were, but I believe they were somewhere. I want to assume that they did not get the opportunity. You see? So I cannot come and say that this family, because they got what it takes today, because they are past me in an economic level, this is a dynasty. Not really. These people only worked hard.
Okay, to interrupt you a bit. Okay, I think Mjanja was trying to say that along those three families, major families, it's kind of who this William Ruto anakuja na a new thing yenye haijakuwa to those three people hawajakuwa wakiona, which is bottom up,
which is low in the space.
Na ukienda hivi nje sana you ask someone wewe unafanyanga ni na hustle, that is a hustler. I guess that is why people are saying that we should go to this side, because this person tries to improve my business, wants to boost to create my employment there. Reason, when you give this mama boga 4,000, alikuwa anauza boga na nyanya, ataongeza stock. We say that tukisoma tunasema the moment ameongeza business yake ame-expand, and create employment to the other person. That is, I guess that is the bottom up you're trying to say, Ama.
Maybe I can put it more better. Alisema Ruto hajasema yeye ni hustler. Si lazima aseme yeye ni hustler, because he once alikuwa hustler, na once a hustler always a hustler. My friend, hata upate the billions of the millions, you are still hustling. Because you are maintaining what you have.
So if you
have got,
so if Ruto becomes the president, he's a hustler.
He's still a hustler.
No,
because he's protecting what he has worked.
That is how
he has sweated for.
Why is it a problem when Mo is protecting what he has worked for, or whatever his parents worked for? Then he's a dynasty and not a hustler.
Yes, he is, because we all know we acquired the wealth.
No,
and we don't know the father to the deputy president.
But we know the people. We know the brothers and the
it
people.
Is a good distance to you that today you believe Amma son to no one who is not known in this Kenya, so you can still rise to the power. It is an encouragement, it is a motivation.
You know, nobody is telling Ruto not to ascend to presidency, actually. Because if you
have the
strength, if he has if he has what it takes to lead this country, he will lead. If only people will buy his idea.
And allow me to say this, Ruto will not become the president. Listen to me very well. Ruto will not become the president, but he will be made the president.
Who makes you the president?
By the hustler nation.
Okay, here we have voters na mwenye anachaguliwa, si ndio?
Yes.
Okay, na here your agenda matters a lot to the voters.
The people.
Okay, if I come up with Baba here is bottom up. Na hapa mimi niko hii side ya, for example, niko side ya bottom up. Niko pale mama boga nauza sukuma. Nitaenda Baba mwenye naangalia NHIF, ama kwanza nitaangalia mwenye ananiimprovia.
Does it mean hautakocheka?
Economy.
Does it mean hautakocheka?
But the moment nimepata hiyo pesa kutoka pale kwa business, itanipeleka hospitali.
I believe in the bottom up. We are not ignoring the social services. Those are things that we should render to the mwananchi. Hatunaenda tu bomoya hospitali, but we advance them through the money we collect through the mwananchi. That is what we do.
Okay.
Now I want to ask a question. Yeah. Because you know there is a whole confusion that the bottom up people don't understand. You know, there is a way in which the economy operates. You see that? And when the deputy president was taking over as deputy president in 2017 after the hotly contested election, he was very categorical, and he said now that they have won the presidency, they are going to deliver services to Kenyans. You get that? Now, as a Kenyan who did not vote for Ruto government, I was actually ready for the services, because after all, I have to be led. I got no powers to go to the Supreme Court because of maybe the economic person to challenge again what has been legalized. You are telling me that the same person who told us that is bringing services ni wakati wa kazi, the same person now brought politics alongside development. You see, politics and development, they can never go hand in hand. That is the reality. One must fail. It's either the economy will fail because you are doing politics, or
politics will fail because you are embracing economy, but these two things cannot go hand in hand. The DP has been the deputy president for 10 years. Point or make me understand anything, any single thing that the DP has done that deserves a credit to be awarded the presidency in this republic.
Allow me to answer you. You know, it is clear that the deputy president just won a name. It is very clear. It is very clear. To a point that the former prime minister, who is a person who is out of government constitutionally, that is representing Kenya in the international treaties. So you cannot credit that you say the deputy president has been in the government for the last 5 years. But in the first 5 years, you can credit what was done.
Tell me what has been done in them. Leave alone to now 2017 to where we are today. Just let's go back to 2017. Let's go back there to 2013, where actually the people picked the presidency. Now, can you tell me what is it that has been done? You get that? In 2017 to 2017, 2013, that you can say now hapa tulifanya kazi.
It is 2013 to 2017.
Actually, whichever the way, provided you get to vote me right.
Yeah. One thing, the Jubilee government, since it was sworn in 2013, we had many plans for Kenyans. It is clear. Some of the plans we had initiated, and believe me or not,
for example,
some of the plans some of the projects which are being launched as complete today. Even akili vitumika 2013 in that period. Some projects take years, they are long term. The SGR, you cannot credit SGR to the handshake. No.
Neither can you credit that to the Uhuru government. And we know that is Kibaki's project, the coalition government. Just proceed.
Yeah, you can credit to the Uhuru government.
Because how?
Because they implemented the project.
You know, the moment,
what if you started the project and it was not implemented?
The moment you're implementing something which I've drafted, for instance, you found everything there, the plans are there, the budgeted, everything is there. Of which actually you will agree with me that you know what you did to the expenditure, the SGR expenditure, the government still went ahead to rob Kenyans through the SGR because they bypassed the budget that Kibaki and the brother left back then. How now are you talking a project that you have been told to implement? Because even without you, somebody will implement that project. So
yeah,
actually the plan was to Uruto's plan. I only want to hear what Uruto initiated and implemented.
Okay, let me answer that. So we are taking an instance that the period 2013 to 2017 is before handshake, 2017 to 2022 is post handshake or after handshake. And if you can check at the economy for the two periods, today if you go to purchase 3 liters of cooking oil, believe me, you purchase for more than 1,000. But in 2013 to 2017, we used to purchase the same product, the same quality, at 350 shillings. The repercussions of handshake. That is
okay, let me interrupt you. That means when handshake entered between Uhuru and Ruto, there became an obstacle.
What happened, and I can put it this way, that the government right now is being led by some big stomach men, and they want to control the government for their own benefit. The policies that they are implementing, it is to their favor, but not to the favor of Mjanja. And that is why the prices of products in Kenya are exorbitant. There is a very high rate of inflation. Yeah.
Okay, that means that these big stomach people ni kumaanisha kuna mwenye ameachwa kando so that they can proceed with the leadership ama ni aje?
Absolutely.
That means
they did not want William Ruto to have the share in their government, and that is why they kicked him out.
Okay. So handshake has been a problem.
A big problem. We don't know the fruits of handshake.
I beg to disagree. Actually, nobody kicked Ruto from the government, because if you are asked today who's the deputy president of Kenya, who will you say is the deputy
I said he is the deputy president by name.
by name.
Yeah.
But then he's a deputy.
It is evident.
It's office.
It is evident.
Okay.
The president goes himself.
Last year's Mashujaa, we had that before Ruto talked, Raila talked first. Sindio? That's where tulianza kusikia watu wakisema, oh, this handshake brought ikafanya Ruto ameachwa nyuma. Unaona, ati juu maybe hajakuwa first. Unajua anastahili kuongea ndo welcome the president. Sindio? Hiyo ndo tunajua as the protocol. But here we found that it's Raila, but even did he talk actually?
That is what we call delegation.
That means Uhuru delegated the rules
sometimes back. Uhuru, Kibaki sent Mudavadi to a function, and actually the deputy president was representing Kibaki, had to welcome the person who had been delegated that duty, who was Mjanja Mudavadi. You get that? Then if then was today, then of course they would still criticize that as undermining powers. You get that?
You know, this is a thing that is happening daily.
Yeah.
That is a one-time event.
But here, if Kibaki delegated, alikuwa amemjulisha, I will delegate these rules, these certain strategies.
It's not a must.
You continue with it.
It's not a must. It's not delegation. Let me tell you, if I want to delegate a duty to you, it's a business between me and you. You see that? Because my position is there. Whether I attend or not, that seat will remain vacant.
But I don't have a problem you delegate today, but you delegate yesterday, today, tomorrow, and the other day. No.
But if you're not so sure with the person did it, you are not so sure.
But you believed in me when you are being elected by citizens. The citizens elected me and you.
But
why should you now again
delegate something that citizens gave that role to us?
I can believe in you so that I benefit. You get that? And deep inside, I know that I'm using you as a scapegoat.
That means Uhuru is delegating the rules to Raila in order to help Raila.
Actually, Raila is not being delegated anything.
Okay, we see even Akiabiwa will choose for you a deputy president.
No,
it's
time for politics. Time for politics because already seats are vacant. See that? Now we get out of our offices, the way people are told to resign. We go to the ground now to do politics. You see that? And you see Uhuru as the party leader. He has a party. And he's the party spokesperson. You get that? He's everything in that party. When he says what he says today that I'll give you as the president of this party, I will give you a deputy. He's talking on behalf of that party, not as a president. I want to let us detach the presidency from Jubilee. Are you getting the concept? So Uhuru is a person. Uhuru is a president. You see that? Those are two different people. So when the Jubilee party leader, President Uhuru Kenyatta, even on the presidency now, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, says now as my party Jubilee and give Azimio coalition as the deputy president, there is nothing wrong with this.
I believe there is no problem with that, with the Uhuru maybe endorsing Raila or something of the sort. But let us take the reality. The reality is, the time the Jubilee government was formed, it had more than 200 MPs. How many MPs left now in the party? You can be having a dead party. That is a dead party. Let us speak the sense. And you can take this to the bank. The Jubilee party will not have more than 10 MPs.
But you told us Jubilee is dead. I wonder why he's panicking that the Jubilee is still in existence. Sometimes
they're trying to revive a dead party.
Not reviving.
Yeah,
you only become smart.
What happened yesterday?
You only become smart. You only become smart when others want you to be. You see that? Yeah, because I can go silent so that you prevail the way you want. Then I can prove you wrong. Actually, what the president is doing is proving to the UDA counterparts that Jubilee is alive. You see that? And I want to tell you, he's telling Jubilee will not get less than 10.
Yes.
10 MPs.
10 MPs.
It can be very true. You see that? According to UDA. It can be very... But let's wait. Let's wait. You know the notion that Jubilee will score. Where will UDA score? Members of Parliament in Tharaka Nithi County. That is where they will score. What bank you in Murang'a? In Nyandarua,
Central Kenya.
That means in Nyandarua, actually, is MP.
Hakuna hata moja.
Will be a Jubilee MP.
Hakuna hata moja. My MP is Michael Mwangi Mochela. He's under the UDA. He's under UDA.
We defeated at 7 a.m. Wait.
Atapita mapema. Asubuhi na mapema.
Okay. We are here to witness.
Okay. Okay. What matters a lot ni the agendas that people are giving out to the voters.
Sure.
Hiyo ndio inafanya mtu apatiwe. How will they get those promises zenye unawapatia? Another question, watu wamekuwa wakijiuliza, if we choose Raila, he is very old. If we choose Ruto, he is a bit young, na ataenda miaka mingi. But I think when we go to Azimio, ataenda only for maybe one term. Do you think age matters a lot in politics?
Actually, they say age is just but a number. And a practical example, you know, the history of how Kenyans leaders have been elected. From Moi, at what age? Yes? Kibaki, at what age? Uhuru, at what age? You see that? Now the trend, that is just a trend, if it's something to go back.
Okay, do you think it has an impact?
Actually, it doesn't have an impact because leadership is a skill. You get that? Yeah, leadership is just a skill. I cannot deny you the leadership because you are too young to lead. That is why you are talking about today youth being leaders. I can as well not deny you leadership position because you are too old. You see that? Now, how old was Mugabe when he was elected before he was his ouster? How old is Museveni? How old is Donald Trump? You get that? So how old is Raila Amolo Odinga? How old is Alice Wahome? You get that? The same. How old is Rigathi Gachagua? Now somebody, the difference between Baba and Alice Wahome is less than 3. Are you getting me? Now the difference of 3, the UD are now telling us that Baba cannot be president. At the same time, Alice Wahome can be an MP or a deputy president in this republic.
Okay, on your side.
Yeah, let me say this. I believe Ruto is a good representative of the youth.
So it has an impact.
A big impact.
What's the old? The age of being a youth.
Youth. I said a
Old.
youth.
Who is a youth?
A youth is between 18 to 35 years.
How old is Ruto?
Yes, it is a comparison they are making it between Ruto and Raila.
Okay.
So there is no correlation between the age of Ruto and being a youth. An age difference of more than 20.
But when we compare Ruto's and Raila's years, there is a gap. Kuna gap.
There is a gap of how many years?
I
The
believe
same gap
I
between
believe my-
Ruto's
I-
age
I was-
and the youth. It's the same gap.
Huh?
It's the same gap between Ruto and the youth and Raila and Ruto. It's
What
the
is
same
there?
gap.
What is there?
Do-
Let me explain to you. I believe Ruto's age is not something to be built on. Raila's age is not something to be built on. But as a country, we should secure the future of this country. Currently, we know Raila Amolo Odinga, despite the age, let the age be constant. Let the age factor be constant. We all know the repercussions that is coming with that age, which is health. My good friend, currently as we are speaking, Raila visit India or Dubai, somewhere in resort for treatment.
No.
And let me finish. You are electing Raila. You are electing. No. You are electing Raila.
Okay.
No, you are electing Raila as a president, as they say. And it is not a good picture, actually, that you elect Raila for just 5 years. As they are saying they just want 5 years. I believe 5 years is a very short time for a president
To accomplish the
to accomplish what he wants. Let us get a president who we can have quite an assurance, although you are not praying bad for Raila, quite an assurance that this person you can elect him more and more years according to his core merit.
Point of correction. Raila is in India because of the daughter. It's the daughter who was ill and not Raila himself. That one you must understand.
He's also an aiding person.
No, Raila
You know that?
Raila is okay. Even
No,
though he was
after-
ailing, that the day he was in Dubai.
He may even remain there.
Okay. God forbid, God forbid. Because you know, the issue of health is everywhere. You get that? Now, he's talking about we want somebody who stays in power for 10 years. Yet we are talking about we want a transitional government whereby after Raila Amolo Odinga's presidency, we now go back and get somebody who is competent enough
You see that? Who can be Mjanja or can be any other person? You get that? Because there's no monopoly idea. How old was Mandela when he led? And how many years did he lead? And what did he do in South Africa?
Mandela had a good health. We all know the condition of Raila right now.
No, Raila is just okay.
Even imagine, he came to a campaign tour in Nyandaro. He was not able to accomplish or to complete his road show. Why?
According to
health issues.
According
no,
to
I was there. He was go to Lolie. A helicopter chopper. Ilikuja ikalanda hapo. He could not continue. The condition was deteriorated.
Yeah. That means even leaders, when you wanasema ati we need good health facilities, they are not supporting them. Since wakati mtoto wangu amegojeka na mpeleka outside the country, what's that?
There's special. There are special cases, not actually classes, because we have seen mtoto wa mboga being done contribution afanyiwe kidney transplant in India. Now, when it comes to basic services, the issue of health, we rely so much on the Western countries, which is not wrong, because from there we are gaining an experience of what we can implement, and we know our strength as a country. So somebody being taken out to be treated, it depends where you want to be treated. For instance, if you believe that in this case, and your doctors will advise you that this one cannot be handled here, you see, this one must be taken to another level. So when they got out, then they go there, not that because it cannot be cured here, but the situation maybe demands to be taken outside. So actually our country is doing good. I can't say that because healthcare is one of the big agenda that the Umoja government was implementing. I don't know whether it took effect or not, but I believe we are not badly off. Yeah, we are not badly off.
So age economic impact on
no,
your side,
age has no impact.
But on your side, you are saying does not have
everything has an impact. For us,
in age,
has an impact.
We are not even criticizing Raila's age,
yeah.
But out in the streets, they are not ready for an old design.
Sasa hiyo ndio ilikuwa point.
They are not really ready.
Okay, you go somewhere, you ask person, unataka UDA ama you want Azimio. Sasa why choose this? Because at either for 5 years and he will not accomplish.
When Raila won the election in 2017, how old was Raila Odinga in 2017? When he won the election, how old was Raila Odinga?
He was old.
He was old too. So back then, in 2017, people elected that old mzee. Today, you are telling me, in your consciousness, that people will not elect the person you call an old mzee. I mean, which can
if the person is not available for us during the campaigns, we are not sure if it will be available for us to do work for us. Let us bring that.
Hapa when ikifika ni age tunaangalia accomplishing the project. On the other hand, sociability.
Now let me ask
to the people, because you see, if I'm a youth, sitaenda kwa mtu mzee, nitatafuta mtu mwenye ni young kidogo.
Let me ask you. What is the work of a president in this republic? The work of a president. So is the president one who coming to build this house? There are what we call ministries. You see that? We have departments within the ministries. So what you are telling me that what Raila Odinga will have in terms of planning will not be accomplished even if he dies the following month. Are you getting me? That is close to impossible, because that ministry, everything works within the ministry. The ministry brings their plans to the table, inaangaliwa, then approved. Then there is allocation. Now what goes thereafter is between the allocation and the ministry, not the president and the ministry. We need to understand this thing in a broader perspective. So Raila Odinga, whether he becomes the president at 90 years, the project he wants to implement will be implemented whether it's alive or dead.
No. I think, yeah? What my good friend is saying, as a president, you want a physical president, a person who will approve the projects. He's saying about the projects. The projects cannot start if the president himself does not approve. Even after approval, we want a president who will go and monitor and supervise the projects and how they are going on. Hatutaki mtu anakuja na sign anarudi nyumbani. Hapana, hiyo hapana.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we want a physical president.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. On the other hand, ikifika ni kwa hizi parties zenye
the manufacturing it's manufacturing as among the big agenda before this party boss disappeared with almost every resources. Don't kill me for saying so, but it's my opinion. If it would take effect, of course, amesema we are only creating 100 positions in the firearm industry, and for them they would create 3 million jobs.
100,000.
100 positions.
The same scenario.
You know, it's impossible. This is an
It
economist.
is very possible.
This is an economist who talks about impossibilities. Where we are creating 100 jobs, you want to create 100,000. I mean,
let me tell you,
that means you are going to employ people not to work.
In comparison, the trickle-down approach, which is being applied, or which has been applied for the last quite a number of years. The good example I gave, the Rifle company, or the bullet manufacturing company. I think that is a high-intensive area which the president invested, and I believe also Laila said he will continue what Uhuru was doing and what Uhuru has done. So we don't expect far much difference from that. But take an instance, in which the 5 billion which was channeled to the high-intensive area is channeled to a manufacturing company. Take that approach. If that money is channeled to a manufacturing company, one thing, the hardened positions are first assured. After all, you have empowered the local mwananchi, the local farmer. The price for fertilizer right now is 6,000. It is very inconvenient for the farmer to produce the produce and to take it to the market or even to the manufacturing company. But once we empower the low-intensive areas, believe me or not, there will be a lot of employment. Another thing, the youth are having a lot of ideas, and ideas are capital. Capital is not necessarily money. The ideas are the capital in nature. Once we empower these youths, we help them go and start their businesses. We reduce this state of joblessness, and we reduce the rate of unemployment.
Youth empowerment is not all about employment. You get that? And I'm glad he's talking about 5 billion. You get that? That is, and it's known by everybody, the history of the damn saga in this republic. You get that? And when he was told that he stole, I'm just talking about what we know. He stole quite a good amount of billions of money. You say ilikuwa to 7 billion peke yake. I want you to understand the statement. You stole 21 billion. Apana, I only stole 7 billion. Just imagine now. Do you know that the dam construction, the dam was supposed to be constructed, youth were to get a form of employment there, whether it's a 1-year contract or a quarter year, or whichever the timeline. Are you getting me? It disappeared. And another one, and another one. Yet we are talking about youth empowerment and youth in employment. It's something that I don't really understand, where we should compare 5 billion to a manufacturing company. You get that? Comparing to a 7 billion lost. We don't know where the 7 billion is. We don't know what it's doing. We actually don't know.
I believe,
but we know where the 5 billion is.
I believe in the politics, propagandas and innuendos are very common. If it is true that Ruto stole 7 billion, I believe the ICC could have summoned him. We have never heard of any summoning. So and I want you to quote when Ruto said that I stole. That's the time he accepted. I want you just go and hear that from the horse mouth.
Just to go, some media sources, they don't lie whatsoever. There's some sensitive information that you cannot lie about. We know where the 5 billion is. It's in a fire manufacturing company that will give 100 people employment. But we don't know where the 7 billion is. How many people it has employed? Even one, it has only employed one person, not one. A family, it has employed a family, all plus relatives, all close friends. You see that? And when we are talking about youth empowerment, we are talking about building the capacities of these people. You see that? So that they are able to employ themselves. Because we cannot say that all youths must be employed in this republic. Mjanja can come up with an idea, then we all bring our minds together, then we start something constructive. By so doing, we are employed there, then we can get other people in the process of developing what we have constituted. That is also a form of employment. It's not all about taking flow, putting here, you start earning. You see that? We will not be able to help the economy if we go that direction. So the issue of youth employment, how many youths you want to employ, and I want to ask you a question so that you understand. Look at the cabinet, the constitution of the cabinet, how it was constituted, the cabinet members we have, blah blah blah. How many people in the position in the CSS we can call youths? The CSS in the Ruto government. We don't want to know about the handshake because Raila came, the cabinet already had been constituted. You see that? So how many people are youths? Or from 2017 to 2018. You get that? So you find that wale wazee ndio wakubwa walikuwa pale. You see? And Rotich was not a youth. And Macharia is not a youth. None of these people are youths. So if you want to tell me today, my friend Mjanja, that you are talking about youth employment that you did not see in 2013, you only seeing it in 2022, then I don't know where we are.
I believe there are some positions my good friend is mentioning, like the Mushero. Those are CS positions. I believe some positions comes with capacities. I can be also a governor somewhere. But you being my good friend that you are a youth, naweza taka ni employ but I can't. Because why? You are not qualified. You are not competent enough.
Why is it in the constitution given age limit for being a CS in this republic? Quote it. Quote it in the rules book. Where it's written, if you are 30 years, you cannot be a cabinet secretary if you are qualified. We have PhD holders who are 30 years.
It's not about age, eh? It's not about age. It is about qualification and experience.
Somebody a PhD holder, 30 years. What qualification are we looking for?
Who is that 30 years old?
A PhD? You don't know we have PhD holders who are 30 years.
It's okay, if he's qualified, you will get in the position.
But you are telling me that there are some positions that the youth cannot get? Cannot get, which is very wrong. I think you must admit that. It's very wrong.
I believe one thing, we are empowering our youth. He's saying that we are creating position for the youth in the government, which he has stated the CS, the CAS,
Yeah,
exactly.
the likes of Umoja and CS, Mwangangi.
That is in order. That is very in order. But you cannot credit that to Raila Amolo Odinga. We can't. Point blank, we can't.
Why? Why not?
We can't.
Yes, we can.
Did you push for them?
We believe.
Like, you know this from Mount Kenya.
Yes.
Just here in Nyeri.
Yes.
Even decided to fight for an MP.
Yes.
How can you convince me that Raila Odinga is behind that? You can't.
Okay, you are right.
If
You are right, but when was that Kinodi appointed?
He was appointed in the second Jubilee government,
When?
2017.
Did he start from the word go in that government?
No, but
Well,
some positions.
I just want to know
some
when.
position. I can also be very good, a very good orator, or maybe a very vibrant youth. But if I'm not pushing for this position, some of these positions I'm pushing. If I'm not pushing for this position, I would get.
So, as we conclude, I just want to remind Kenyans that this is the time we need to redeem our country. The economy has gone down, but we have had issues like COVID-19 that brought a lot of effect and adverse effects in our economy. People lost jobs and so on and so forth. The most important thing is that we are in an electioneering period, and very soon, after a couple of some 5 or 6 months, we'll be having a new government, hopefully. And sisi kama vijana tujitume. It's our responsibility as a youth to come out and voice our channel, our voice to be heard by our leaders. And on behalf of the Azimio and on behalf of Raila Amolo Odinga specifically, I'm kindly requesting Kenyans of goodwill to rally their support behind Azimio and Umoja so that we can form a unified system that will bring into consistency the issue of economy, so that, because the reason I'm saying so is that was for the Chinese monopoly capital. Kibaki was for a mixed. It was mixed because it don't do a lot of borrowing as well, and embraced our culture so much. And I want to confirm to you that Raila is for the Kenyan monopoly capital. We are talking about Kenyans. If we go in the broader perspective, we are talking about the black monopoly capital. So I'm kindly requesting on behalf of Baba that we all come out in large numbers and support His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga in his presidential bid yet another time in 2022. Thank you.
Yeah. So allow me to take this auspicious opportunity, the moment, to thank our viewers. Thank you for your time. Thank you also to our panelists, Florence, for inviting us, and thank you to my good friend and brother. We are from a different side, but at the end of the day, we will sit down and drink the same cup of tea, whoever be a political tea. As we conclude, as a staunch and a die-hard Kwanza UDA supporter, I would like to put across that we still believe in God, God in heaven, and we are so certain. We are playing hard that we deliver this seat, and we are urging fellow Kenyans, the Hustler Nation, who constitute the majority of the population, that we have the confidence we have the resilience, we have the courage to come out and say, this is what we want, and we want this. We want a representation in the government of a person who is a good picture and a good orator, and who demonstrates that me and you can reach where our deputy president, how our president to be is. So we are urging Kenyans in this period of elections and campaigns also to maintain peace and unity. We have seen instances in the past, both from both sides, being nonpartisan, cases of violence, cases of incitement. So we are kindly urging Kenyans, as we attend these rallies, let us maintain peace and unity. We are also urging our leaders to continue preaching peace and unity to our Kenyans and to our citizens. And as we conclude, Team Hustler Nation, bado tunasema ni kazi kwanza, pesa mfukoni, uchumi bora. Asanteni.
Thank you guys. We are through with our show. Like, subscribe, comment there, give out your opinions there. Thank you for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.